Culture Uncut. This is Culture Uncut. This is Culture Uncut. I am your host, Jason Spears, and Colt fans, we've got a lot to talk about.
This is Culture Uncut. I am your host, Jason Spears, on this fine April 14th, 2026 episode of Culture Uncut. Today's show is probably going to be a little short. I just wanted to share my opinions on a couple things. One, the whole Diana Russini, Mike Vrabel situation, which I know most people don't care about, but I find it interesting because of things that I've heard and seen in the past. So I'm going to get into that a little bit, and I'm sure not all of you are interested in that, and it is what it is. It's a microcosm of the world. Divorce is up, people cheat, whatever. But I'm going to get in a little bit of that, just to just kind of have a different vibe show. And then I'm going to talk about my draft, I guess, the way my opinion of the draft and the way I would handle it if I was the Colts, because the more I look at this team, the more I think this year is going to be a setback. I don't think it's going to go well. And so my draft might be different than most of your drafts, because I think I would just draft guys for the future, this year and the future. So like what I'm saying is best player available. So if like an elite guard is there at 47 and we don't trade back, I'm taking him, because then you can move Gonzalez to a swing tackle, right? So then you have a new guard, and then Gonzalez goes back to tackle where he played a lot, and then you solve that problem going forward, right? And then you can also have him as a backup guard. So you solve a couple problems by drafting a guard. Just an example, okay? I'm not saying I would. It depends what the board says, but forget the position. Unless it's a tiebreaker between two even players, I'm taking the best player available, period. The rest, that's what I'm doing this year. Building for next year when Ballard isn't here. That's what I hope they do. They probably won't do that, but that's what I would do. That situation is, the more I just look at the roster, I just think that's the way to go. And you just figure it out as you go. I know they need linebackers. I know they need an edge. I know they need all things, but I'm BPA. And outside of, obviously, like, I'm probably not taking a quarterback in this draft. Because I don't really like many of them. So, but outside of that, like, everything's on the board. I mean, we need everything. One tech, strong safety, two linebackers, a Mike and a Will, an edge, a wide receiver, O-line help, and we've only got 6 picks, 7 picks, and they're all back end picks. So I mean, you're gonna have to make some trades and find a way to get the best player available every round. That's just the way it goes. Maybe take a couple lottery tickets in the 7th. But let your scouting work for you. If you see a guy in the 7th that you believe in, then I think you should take him. But I don't know, man. When I first was thinking about the off season, it was like, okay, we gotta get linebackers and edge early. We got to do this and this early. We got to do that. I'm no longer feeling that way, because I think when you think that way, you basically miss on superstars by doing it that way. There are guys that I like that are linebackers. I like Rodriguez. I like AJ Halsey. He's not a linebacker, but he's a strong safety. But I'm just giving you an example. I like Rodriguez. Rodriguez and Trotter are the two linebackers I like the most that are going to be in our range. I like Halsey. I think these are all day one starters. So if they're there, obviously they're going to be considered, but I like Pons. There's so many guys I like. And you just got to pick the best player on your board. That's what I hope they do. So I am going to put out a mock draft later today. This is just meant to be like a little quick, kind of like a little nugget kind of show, like a half show or whatever you want to call it, because I haven't put anything out. So now let's go to the whole Russini Vrabel thing. First of all, let's break it down. They're at the meetings in Arizona, right? They travel 40, I think it's 40 or 60 miles the other direction together to Sedona to stay in an adults only resort, and they're seen holding hands, interlocking hands, dancing, and there's no one else around. Vrabel said anyone that thinks that there's anything more than innocent, they're idiots. So basically, he's calling us idiots. There's nothing to see here. And then Russini said there was a bunch of people there. I mean, that on itself might be true, because it's a resort, but I don't think they were friends with them. I think this was two people that made a ridiculously dumb decision to do that, and they didn't think it would be seen. Also, I believe, because I've just heard a lot of stories. Remember, back in the early 2021, 2019, 2020, 21, 22, I was involved in the insider stuff, and I had a lot of sources. And this is not unheard of. Diana Russini is not the first person that's done this. There are plenty of other female journalists and probably male, like, and vice versa, like male people in organizations cheating with journalists. That shit happens all the time. I heard about it at the combine. I heard about it at the owners meetings. I heard about it at the league meetings. I heard like you hear about, like, you just hear stuff all the time. I mean, people that you guys know as reporters. I know one specifically. She was not married, a reporter. She works for a big time organization. I'm not going to name her name. She was having an affair with one of Seattle's upper management guys, and he was married. That kind of shit happens all the time. And I've never heard about it within the Colts organization, but I have heard about it in plenty of other organizations. And the way it's kind of looked at is like a coach even if he's married, sleeping with a chick, a side chick or whatever. It's not, nobody really cares. All they care about is winning. So Mike Vrabel really doesn't have much to lose here, in my opinion, other than his wife. And if he's cheating, then he probably doesn't care anyway. His players are gonna love him for this shit because they all do the same thing. I mean, we all know how players are. They're in different cities. They got women everywhere. I mean, it's the world is their oyster. It's kind of the same, man. For these guys and these reporters, they get to know. I mean, that's how this all works. I mean, it's like who is it? Schefter and Rosenhaus. I think it's Schefter and Rosenhaus. Like, Schefter puts out everything Rosenhaus tells him to. And he gets all the information first. Defended Deshaun Watson when all that crap happened. But I mean, it's such a flimsy line. You have to know, like, you cannot be involved. A reporter cannot be involved in a relationship with a coach. It's a conflict of interest. It's very simple. But my only point is I feel like Diana Russini, I don't particularly like her for a lot of reasons, but I think she's being villainized when this shit goes on a lot more than just with Diana Russini. It goes on with a lot of other female reporters. It goes on with male coaches, you know, in positions of power to give information. I'm not saying they use that information to get sexual favors. I'm just saying it's a power dynamic and they're using each other. Like, you know what I mean? So, I don't see how this turns out well for Diana Russini. It looks, I mean, it's astonishingly bad looking. Um, because there's really no reason to travel 40 miles or 60 miles to Sedona to an adults only resort with him and be all and no photograph with other people, and no other people have come out and said they were there. I just think it's a horrible look. She's done. I don't think she'll ever get hired by a major network again. I think they're going to end up firing her. Right now they're doing a um I guess like an investigation on her and her stories and how she got them and all that, man. It's just you've got to keep a professional at all times. You want to step out on your husband because she's married too. You want to step out on your husband, you better not do it with an NFL coach. Because chances are that shit's going to be found out because people find out about it and it spreads. I mean, I know about a ton of stuff that I'll never speak about, involving coaches and their wives cheating or, you know, coaches, you know, cheating on their wives. It just all of it. It's all a microcosm of everything else in the world. And when you're in close quarters with, um, when you get a man and a woman in close quarters all the time and they have a texting relationship and all this other stuff, it's very easy for the lines to blur and for things to happen. And you just got to keep it professional. I feel bad in a sense for her. I mean, she made a poor decision. And this isn't the first time. Allegedly, this went, and this is all alleged, obviously, but allegedly, you know, she had something going on with, and I remember when this happened, Scott McLuhan, when he was the GM of the Redskins, like allegedly she had something going on with him, and I think his wife actually even texted about it. You can look that up online. I'm not going to repeat what she said, but, um, Scott McLuhan was apparently cheating with Diana Russini, and allegedly Sean McVay had something with her too. Although that one's a little less, publicized, I would think, or there's less smoke with that one. But my point is, you can't continue to engage in this type of behavior. Well, I guess you can, and she did, and now look where she is. But it's just not morally right. And I'm not a moral authority. I'm far from perfect. I've made a ton of mistakes in my life in that regard. Um, but in that business, it's not worth the risk because if you get found out, especially as the journalist, because the journalist is the one that's going to pay. They have the standards and ethics that they have to live up to. As long as Vrabel or any coach or any GM or whatever, as long as they're not breaking any laws, they're not going to get fired because they don't have the same for the most part they don't have the same standards and practices that a journalism person does. So in a way I feel bad for her, but her behavior from what I've heard has been kind of, and again this is allegedly, kind of a repeated thing, and the way she talks about her husband in public is just disgraceful, which is another reason I don't really care for Diana Russini. um but it's not just Diana Russini. This goes on all the time. It just the people that do it are not stupid enough to go to an adults only resort, drive 40 to 60 minutes away or whatever it was from the Biltmore in Arizona, to Sedona to have this meeting or whatever and hang out and a romantic weekend or whatever. And I still believe one of their spouses hired a private investigator. That's the only way any of this makes sense. Because nobody else cares enough to go out there and photograph this crap. So I think it was one of the spouses hired a private investigator, and that's what happened. And apparently, um, apparently Vrabel's wife deleted her Instagram, so that's not good. So we'll see how this thing plays out. I usually don't cover stuff like this on my channel because it's really not my style, but I found this interesting because I just remember in the early 20s, like having my eyes open to a lot of behavior that players engage in it, but I never thought executives to the extent that they do, or coaches to the extent that they do, engage in this stuff, but they do, and so do journalists. It just is what it is. Married people cheat. You know, they do dumb shit. This seems like a longer prolonged type of deal because they've had a relationship for a while. By relationship, I mean like, a journalist coach relationship, but also, I mean, she said, like, when there was an article about her calling him intimidating, and it was implied that he was overweight or something, that he texted her or called her or something like that. I don't know. But at the end of the day, it's not that serious. I mean, infidelity is morally wrong, and I've got my own cross to bear in that area, but I'm not gonna, as far as like, I've never been married, but you can figure it out. I've got my own cross to bear there that I have to live with, but it's not right. It's not morally right, and it shouldn't happen. And so, like, just do your job. Like, don't try to do anything other than be respectful and get the story. And I know, people do quid pro quo things. I mentioned the Schefter thing about, him and Rosenhaus having this 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 really good relationship where he gets everything first and blah blah blah, and he puts out good press for people for that's a thin line too. Um, it's such a interesting topic, and like people outside the NFL are weighing in on it, and it's crazy to kind of hear their thoughts or whatever. Sorry, I don't know what just happened, but it's a big story. I think the head guy at the Athletic Price spoke too soon. I thought Vrabel's statement was horrible, basically calling anyone that doesn't believe his bullshit story like a idiot. So I guess I'm an idiot because I don't buy that you drive 60 miles away or whatever it was to go to a adults only resort with a journalist to just talk. Um, so again, I think my opinion is obviously something's going on, but nothing's been proven yet. But I think the sad thing is Diana Russini, I think, is the only person that's going to pay in this situation. I think she's going to lose her job in the end, and I think it's going to be hard for her to regain it, because after you lose the trust, every story she writes is going to be, well, how did she get this story? Who did she, what did she do to get this story? Like, and that's sad, but it's the way the world works. Like, you make bad decisions like that, and put your um more morality, or put your ethics into question, people are going to question them. So it's a bad situation. I don't think anything happens to Vrabel. I mean, that organization, I mean, their owner, he was basically buying out a hand job house for like 2 years and nothing happened to him. So, so there's really I don't think there's going to be any accountability. All they care about is winning. And I mean, it's just different for a coach than it is for a player. Now, sadly, it might cost him his relationship with his wife. You never want to see that, because I know that he has children, but he's got to make better decisions, man. So anyway, those are my thoughts on that situation. I like I said, I think it'll eventually, the story either will come out or it'll be covered up, and it'll go away because she'll go away. And once she goes away, Vrabel's just not going to answer anything, right? And so, but either way, um, it's not a good look for anybody. It's not a good look for the NFL. It's not a good look for journalists. It's not a good look for the coaches. It's all bad. Now, again, I've said this repeatedly. This isn't like, life and death, or, people did something so horrifically wrong they should be burned at the stake. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just talking about the ethics of a job, and what you probably shouldn't do. I don't necessarily think it makes or breaks a person's spirit or who they are, or says who they are. I think people make bad decisions all the time. I've done it, and I'm sure a lot of you have listening too. So we're all imperfect creatures, and I don't know what the deal is. I don't know. Like, my thing's always been, if you're not happy in your marriage, get divorced. But things are a lot more. It's easy for me to say that. It's a lot more complicated than that when there are kids involved and a lot of other things. But like I said, I'll be interested to see how it plays out and how it's handled. I think it'll go a long way, and maybe changing how things are handled, and or um, maybe dissuade some people from doing things the way they have been doing them. So with that said, I am going to wrap this up. Just want you guys, I wanted to do a different type of topic. It's not that serious. I'd love to hear your opinions on it. I mean, the whole Vrabel Russini thing. If you've been following it, what your thoughts are. And then also, like, what's your draft approach? Like, how are you approaching this draft? Are you going BPA every round, or are you looking at positions, or is it a combo of both? The more I've been really looking at this roster, and I just think you got to make it as good as you can for 2026 in terms of talent, whatever position that may be, and then go from there. So we'll see what happens, but I appreciate you guys listening to the show. Please leave comments and like the show if you enjoy it, and share it to your friends if you enjoy it. I'm still trying to grow this thing. It's just not growing very quickly, but that's okay. I'll keep doing it. So I hope everybody has a great rest of their day on this fine Tuesday. Tuesday morning, and I will talk to you guys probably later tonight or maybe tomorrow. I need to do my another mock draft. I did one yesterday where I just traded back religiously like 50 times and got like 12 or 13 picks. I don't know if that's maybe I'll open it up to like 2 trades or something like that in my next mock, because Chris Ballard's been known to trade back 2 or 3 times in a draft, so it's not unheard of. I just don't want to make it a thing where I come out with like 18 players. So anyway, like I said, leave a comment, leave a like if you enjoy the show, and let me know your thoughts on the whole Russini Vrabel thing, and your thoughts on the best player available versus need. Like, how do you handle that? So like I said, guys, have a great rest of the week. I'll be back soon with another mock draft, and we will go from there. This has been Culture Uncut with your host, Jason Spears.